Hey guys, it's 1:10 on the 21st of August 2012 and this is a Camp NaNo update. Today I'll be doing Tracys Michelle 210's task, which she set by One More Southern Belle because she's got no charger and her sound doesn't work on her computer. So I'm going to do that task and then possibly make another video later doing One More Southern Belle's task. So the task that Tracys Michelle 210 set today was emotions, getting emotional while writing scenes and getting emotional during specific scenes in your novel. Now I tend to get more emotional when I'm reading stuff rather than writing it. For example, one of my friends, Jack, sent me something that he'd written for the end of a collaborative story that I'm doing on Protagonize, which I'll link to down below because you should check that out. Unfortunately, we never got it finished, but it's still a good read from what we've got. And he sent me the final chapter that he wrote for his character. And this chapter links everything together, all the subplots, all the ideas that he put into his character. And when I read through it, by the end of it, I was crying my eyes out. The chapter that Jack sent me showed the transformation in his character from an arrogant, selfish character to someone you just love and don't want to lose. He has a knack for writing, and what he tried to do in his final chapter was have emotion in there, have humour in there, and he did that beautifully, with the final line of it being him talking about what his last thoughts should be. And because his character was a typical male, his last thoughts were boobs. So there's an example of me getting emotional when I'm reading something that someone else has given me. As for my own writing, I think the most emotional scene that I've written so far would have to be the letter at the start of the novel when Rupert's trying to explain to Sophia's parents what happened to their daughter, and equally when Sophia's parents come to visit him in the mental hospital and he has to explain what happened after she was kidnapped and how she died. I found that quite an emotional scene to write. I think it was made more emotional by the fact that we'd all behave in the same way. If we put ourselves in the character's shoes, we'd all feel the same thing as they're feeling, the grief of losing someone we love. We'd all feel it. So I hope that answers your question, Tracy. That was quite an interesting task to do. And now it's my turn to set a task. For you, the viewers, Tracys Michelle 210 and One More Southern Belle. So we've talked about the emotions that we feel when we're reading or writing a scene. And the emotions we feel could be totally different from the emotions that someone else could feel. So my task is this. I want you to talk about a particular scene where you've tried to evoke a particular emotion, whether it be happiness or sadness. You want the reader to feel the exact same emotion that you're feeling when you're writing it. The scene I'd pick would be the scene that Rupert has to explain to Sophia's mum and dad how she died, how she was killed, the events after the letter. I knew from the moment I started writing this scene that it'd be very emotional, as Rupert's having to explain to Sophia's parents that their one and only daughter was killed, and the events of how she was killed. And that's a heartbreaking scene to have to write, because they're losing their one and only offspring again, because they're having to live through the events told by another. Leave your comments down below or in a video response. I love watching them. All the usual links will be down below, including a link to the unfinished collaborative story and Protagonize called Fantandian, which is the collab I was talking about earlier on in this video, and I recommend you check that out. And check back later on for another task. See you later guys, bye.